Thought I'd just drop in and
Rise up to the fight. One love, one life for the revolution. Rise up and unite. Rise up and
Colorado Soccer Association has a program within its ranks that allows players from the clubs to progress, form a pathway to play at a higher level. The Colorado Select program is operated, directed, and ran by Maren McCrary, an excellent first-class coach, an excellent person, and a pleasure to know. On Sporting Denver today, we welcome the director of the program, Maren McCrary. Maren, welcome to the show.
Hi, Richard. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for fixing a few issues that we had earlier, and it's a pleasure to have you on the show. Straight off, Maren, can you give us an insight into what the Colorado Select program is all about?
Yeah, absolutely. The Colorado Select program is part of, or used to be, what we call the Olympic Development Program. The Olympic Development Program is a U.S. youth soccer program that is run by the national office that primarily has state ODP programs and with opportunities to move into a regional and national ODP. So we here in Colorado wanted to kind of expand those opportunities. We still work within the Olympic Development Program, but in order to give more opportunities just beyond ODP, we created Colorado Select. Like you mentioned earlier, we have players from all over the state. That's kind of the cool thing that I love about this program, is the players that you're used to seeing across the field, on the other side of the field that you're competing against during league play. With Colorado Select, you get to get on the field with them. You're now teammates with them, and you form different relationships with them. You're pushing each other in practices, and then you're representing Colorado in competitions outside of Colorado, both regionally and nationally, and even internationally. There's opportunities for that. So it's a really cool program, an opportunity to, this is the thing. Some people get the idea that they've got to choose this over their clubs, and that's definitely not what we promote. We see Colorado Select as an additional training and development program with an opportunity to be identified for next level competitions and next level kind of play.
So you've got players statewide coming from all sectors, north, south, east, and west, from all the clubs, even as right across to the western slopes. Marin, if I had a player, or my son, daughter, wanted to play, how would I start that process by getting involved with the program?
Yeah, absolutely. So we do offer a lot of clinics and camps trying to help people kind of become familiar with the program, become familiar with our coaches. And then our tryouts we run in July. We have our tryouts coming up July 18th, 19th, 25th, and 26th. And the cool thing about our tryouts is once we started Colorado Select, we decided to make it an open opportunity tryout, meaning that anybody from any club is welcome to come and try out. You no longer have to be recommended or invited. It's not an invite-only process. So we encourage players who have any interest at all to show up, come to one of our futures clinics or futures camps. That's what we've been calling them, because that any player who comes who's interested is welcome to have an opportunity. And to be honest, we have some kids that they just want to see where they kind of rack and stack against other players from around the state.
Sure.
One of the new things we've added this year is the U11 age group. Our youngest age group in the past has always been the U12s, but this year we decided to broaden our scope and broaden our opportunity. We know there's a lot of young players that are interested in the game and interested in adding to their own personal development. In the Colorado Select program, we have amazing coaches. We have coaches with professional playing experience who have A licenses. We have coaches with men's and women's national team experience. And so being able to expose yourself as a player to that level of coaching and be surrounded by other quality players who are going to push your development. You know, what I always say is let's get comfortable being uncomfortable, because that's where that growth and the development is going to happen.
What would you look for in a player, right down now to the U11, the new program, which is fantastic, futures, and what would you be looking for in a player to potentially come onto one of the rosters, Marin?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that we look for. Certainly I think it's important that we look at where's your current skill development level, what is your speed of play. I think that's the easiest thing to look at right off the bat when we get players in a scrimmage situation, a small-sided game situation. How do they receive the ball and what kind of decisions are they making when they have the ball? But in addition to that, we're also looking to what kind of decisions are happening off of the ball. And the players that we're looking for are players who are decisive and confident and are willing to make decisions and take risks. To be very specific, I think that I see a lot of players these days who get within range of the goal, and they're looking everywhere except at the goal. So one of the big things I'm looking at are you a player who's a threat? When you have the ball, are you a threat to score? Because I know that if you can be a threat yourself, you're going to draw players to you. You're going to be able to make decisions and create opportunities off of that. I think it's too easy just to say, oh, that kid is fast, that kid is big, that kid is strong. There's so much more involved with the game of soccer that we're really looking at. What decisions are they making on the ball and off the ball, and how are they executing? How are they able to execute those decisions? And I think if you were to look at our pool of players across the ages, you would see players of all different types, sizes, and abilities, because we understand there's different needs and different roles that need to be assigned to players on the field. I think one of the cool thing is we get a lot of players that play one position with their club team. Right. And then in the Colorado Select environment, they're playing a new position. And what that does for your overall development, I think is fantastic. It just grows your overall ability of the game, that versatility.
You're absolutely correct. And you just finished on the word ability. Would you recommend that, regardless of your ability, come and attend, come and have a go, come and evolve, whether you make the roster or not, just put yourself, maybe outside that comfort zone. Is that a recommendation as well? Just that open invitation?
100%. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of these players at some point or another are going to put themselves in a situation that they are uncomfortable, whether you're trying out for a high school team, whether you're being showcased and trying to make a college coach look at you, whether you're, there's going to be all these opportunities. Starting that process when you're U11, where you can put yourself out there in an uncomfortable environment, not knowing knowing that I may not make this team, I might make the team, but just that overall experience of putting yourself out there, I think is so good for not just your soccer development, but your overall human development. Right. And we try that as coaches. We're always talking about being holistic and looking at the whole person, and coming to tryouts and exposing yourself to other quality players and high level coaches who I guarantee you're going to show up. And if you're willing to learn something, these coaches will teach you something, even in one session at a tryout session.
So for everybody out there, get yourself involved. I know camps and clinics are coming up soon, but it's never too late, right? Just to sign up and get some response back from the association, correct?
Definitely, yeah. We for tryouts, you can sign up all the way up until the day before. For camps and clinics, same thing. You can sign up the day before. We are trying to get as many people involved as we can. So we've, with our clinics, if people, hey, I didn't hear about this, can I still get in? Please contact us, and we'll do everything we can. If we have the capacity, we'll do everything we can to get you on.
Sure. I think one of the tough jobs as well is your job is very tough anyway. You've got to get everything together, and on occasions you have to deal with me. I apologise for that now. But how do you get your coaching staff together, Marin? Because I know it's very diverse and right across the state. How do you get those together?
Yeah, a lot of it is recommendations. Mike Freitag and I work closely together. If he runs a coaching course, he might say, hey, I met this coach who I think would be really good for the program. And I might get him involved as more of a coach and training type of thing. We also get recommendations from club directors across the state. And then even our current staff. For me personally, our current staff is a great place for recommendations. I don't want just high quality coaches. I think that is one of the most important things that we have, but we also have to have good communicators, coaches
Sure.
who can communicate well with players and parents and be a good advocate, and ones that are going to be reliable and show up and are committed to these kids. And I'll tell you what, I mean, you know, I love our coaching staff. Everybody is just so involved in trying to make these players better soccer players. That's our ultimate end goal. You know, we know only a small percentage of players. I mean, if you look at the history of players from Colorado, I mean, it's amazing that Mallory Pugh and Lindsay Horan have been able to go on and play on the women's national team. And
Right.
we have players, you know, from previously who are playing professional soccer. You know, I'm a Colorado ODP alum who went on and played professionally. And I think that, you know, we know that there's a small percentage of players who are going to get to that highest level.
Right.
So ultimately, our goal as coaches is to make every individual player within this team environment, make every individual player better. And I see that improvement over the course of a season, over the course of an entire year. And it's really, that's the rewarding part of coaching, right?
Absolutely, and you mentioned several tiers of your coaching staff, and I've witnessed it firsthand, and it's super high level. Would you like to elaborate a little bit more? Because obviously there's an assistant. Maybe could coaches actually come forward and be involved in their education and observation and being around these camps for their development as a coach? Marin, is that an option for them?
Yeah, definitely. We the way I look at it is this isn't just a program for developing players. We should be developing coaches as well.
Absolutely.
Every time I step on the field or teach a coaching course, I feel like I'm developing a little bit myself as a coach. So we definitely, the way we look at it is I have what's called a coach and training program. We do this on the state level as well as a regional level. And so coaches who are excited, who have that potential, who are engaged and committed to wanting to do this, you know, we get them involved. Some of them they start as assistant coaches. Some of them we just use as, hey, I want you to come to this training session and observe this coach.
Right.
I want you to now go to this training session, different age group, different gender, different coach, you know, and being able to be exposed to different coaches. A lot of coaches are saying some of the same things, but
Right.
we're saying them in different ways.
Sure.
And so being exposed to that kind of high level coaching is a huge benefit for coaches who are actively seeking to become better coaches.
Sure, and it's almost a conveyor belt of potentially future assistants and head coaches to actually come into this program. Is that a good option for them to look that way?
For sure. That's a great place to start. And that's kind of how we do it. We bring people in and say, hey, I want you to come and be a part of this clinic, and I want you to observe. And then maybe they're running, you know, one of the activities in the clinic. And then maybe they move into these roles, and it is a conveyor belt. And it's, you know, I definitely try to put coaching staff together that not only I think is going to be good for the players, you know, as that coaching staff works together,
Right.
but also where those coaches can benefit and work together and benefit from each other. And so, like you said earlier, we have a lot of diversity. We have a lot of different experiences, and so there's certainly a lot of work that goes into understanding how these coaches operate. And so we have really cohesive staffs. We have a minimum of 3 coaches on each age group staff. Some of our staffs, some of our age groups, we have 4. And you know, the idea is we do have large pools of players. We have almost 40 kids in each age group pool. And so we need to have at least 3 coaches at each training session. So we make sure we're giving enough individual attention to each of those players.
So on 2 sides, development of players and development of coaches as well. So if I make one of those pools that you've just mentioned, what's next for the player, Marin?
Well, so the best thing about it is you get to come to every training session. So the way we operate, we have 2 training sessions a month. We do these training sessions on Sundays, and we avoid the league play and the state cup and president's cup as much as we can. Sure. So we try to limit as much conflict as possible with any of your club stuff. So 2 training sessions a month during the fall, and then as the fall league season ends, we ramp up our training as we're preparing for events. Most of our events will have some friendlies. We'll have some events that start in late November, and then we have the West Region ODP Championships is in early January, and this is a long history tournament that's been happening every January for many years, and this is probably the most well-known event, but we certainly, with Colorado Select in this last year, we've added a lot more additional events. We want to make sure every kid who comes into the pool has an opportunity to represent Colorado at some event throughout the year. So while they're primarily just going to be playing, in training sessions, we do inter squad scrimmages. Sure. We're also going to be adding scrimmages with the Mountain Region. We have a Mountain Region Colorado Select program for the Brilliant. Western Slope players, and so we'll be doing more inter Colorado scrimmages this year to prepare for these outside of Colorado events. So ODP Championships in January. We had 4 teams make it to the semifinals last year. We had 1 age group, the 2008 girls, that made it to the finals. And so we're always, we've always got this in the back of our mind. We want to be the West Region champions and represent Colorado well. But yeah, beyond that, I mean, in the past, some people thought, okay, if I didn't make that travel team in January, that was it. I was over. And the way that we're doing with Colorado Select, I mean, this is a year-round program. We start trainings in August. We don't end until next June. And, we're trying to get that regular training going on that doesn't overwhelm kids. We want you doing your primary club work. And this is just in addition to. We also have once a month goalkeeper specific training. This is a new thing that we've added, just trying to help all these players develop the best that they possibly can. But once we kind of hit November, the events, we try to offer events that everybody can be a part of in one capacity or another. And we have various events running November all the way through next May. And so it's quite cool. We've done combined age group events in Southern California. We've had some international trips in the past with certain age groups. So there's a lot happening with Colorado Select that we're really excited about. And now adding the U11s for the first time, theirs is going to be slightly different. They'll just train once a month, but we'll have a big festival of games for them next June. So the U11s will actually, I should mention this, Richard, because it's slightly different. The U11s, we actually have kind of Colorado regionally based teams, meaning we've got a U11 group in the Mountain Region, a U11 group in Fort Collins, a U11 group in Denver, and a U11 group in Colorado Springs. So Northern Colorado, Southern Colorado, centrally in the metro area and the Western Slope. Yeah, just trying to get more kids involved and have those opportunities, so now there's going to be 120, 130 U11s who can have these experiences. So they can all work towards their own personal development.
I think you've compacted, from what I've seen over since you've been at the helm, Marin, you've compacted it, into the state and made everybody feel involved. Just like you've mentioned now with the new branch of it, the Futures, bringing those U11s in, so they get a visual of what that progression could be. I'm going to backtrack onto what region are we in? What does that look like in terms of involving other states, Marin? What could you let our followers know what that is?
Yeah, so Colorado's in the West region. So the West region covers basically Colorado, New Mexico, Wyoming, and Montana, all the way west to California, Hawaii, and Alaska. So all those states are in the West region, 14 states, I believe. California is broken up into a Cal North and Cal South. And then when you look at this national perspective, at least on the ODP scale, there's 4 regions across the country. You've got the Southern region, the Eastern region, the Midwest region, and the West. I came from the Midwest region and was working there, and just what's happening on a national scale is really cool. And the West region is very competitive. So we use the West Region ODP Championships to scout and identify players for a regional camp. Kids who play in Colorado Select are eligible to be selected for regional camp, and typically at the regional camp is when you get selected to represent the West Region team in a national event. So everything kind of builds on top of each other, to say, but my focus for Colorado Select is, hey, let's focus on the individual player. There are going to be some players who we're going to promote and we're going to push, and they're going to get those opportunities at the next level. But the majority of the players in Colorado Select are really just going to have a really good developmental experience and a positive overall human growth experience, or at least that's my goal for every kid in the program.
I think it's already happening with the diversity of different coaches from different clubs. It seems like one huge coaching family with its end goal is to produce those players for the state of Colorado.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the coaches, we've got, we try to have as much diversity as we can. And we're always thrilled when we have another coach contact me and say, hey, I'm interested in getting involved. I like what's been happening. I mean, it's pretty cool. We've got like Michael Haas, who, has national team experience on both the men's side and the women's side and youth national teams. We've got, coaches from Broomfield, from FC Boulder, from Rapids, from Real. And that doesn't even include our mountain region coaches that cover, Steamboat Springs and Crested Butte, and
of course.
I mean, Travis Yoakum does a great job leading up out in the mountain region, and I'm heading down to Durango later today. Actually, we're having a Colorado Select ID camp in Durango. Just trying to reach out and help everybody feel like, hey, we want you to be a part of this. If you want to be a part of it, we want you to be a part of it. And, it's been really awesome to meet so many good coaches from so many different clubs and see it's almost idealistic, and that's okay. I don't mind it. To see the idealism of the coaches who want to see players get better, and they want to be involved with that.
When did you start coaching, Marin?
So I was fortunate enough, after I graduated from Brigham Young University, I got invited to the Women's United Soccer Association, the first ever women's professional league, and I played 3 years in that women's professional league. It was an amazing opportunity, and to be honest, it was because I had some really phenomenal coaching experiences and experiences with my teammates. I had teammates from Brazil, Cece and Katia, and to play with people like Brandy Chastain and Tiffany Roberts and Carla Overbeck, and being exposed to these type of women and being exposed to the highest level of coaching. As soon as the professional league ended, I retired from professional soccer, and that's when I got into coaching. I found that it's so rewarding when you teach a child something and you see them execute it in a way that they couldn't do before. Because how many times do we hear my own kids say it all the time? I can't do that. I can't do that. And I'm like, no, you can't do it yet, because you're not born able to be the greatest at anything. And so just I think being exposed to the highest level of soccer on the playing field, and then having some experiences at some of these, I worked a college camp, I worked some different camps, and just being exposed at that level is what got me excited about coaching. I got involved with ODP in Nevada at a young, right after playing professionally, and then I was really excited about coaching, and I started getting the coaching licenses and working my way up, and having really positive experiences with great instructors over the years. And I feel like I've had a very expansive and thorough coaching experience. I've been able to coach in different parts of the country. I've been able to be a technical director in Nebraska, and working with coaches at all different levels is one of the highlights of my career. I feel like just being able to, work with children on one level, work with coaches on another level, and do my part to continue to grow this beautiful game.
It's obvious in your energy and passion, as well as your knowledge, and I've seen you work with the kids, and it's like the Pied Piper. They come and they thoroughly enjoy themselves. If you had a vision for 2, maybe 3 years for the Colorado Select program down the road, what would that goal be during that process, during that period of time?
Yeah, so right now, with the disintegration of the DA, I think it's changing state ODP programs across the country.
Yes.
A lot of kids, boys and girls, who, especially on the girls' side, because the DA was so much shorter lived than on the boys' side, we have girls who remember being a part of ODP before DA, and
Sure.
they are excited to come back now. So I think if I had a vision for Colorado Select, I think number one, it would be that the top players are excited about it and want to be a part of it. The more high-level elite players that come, it's going to make each of them better. It's going to make our players in our current pool that much better. That was one thing I found with playing professional soccer. Like, every level you go, the better the players are around you, the better you are forced to become. You have to
Sure.
Rise to that level. So my vision would be, to get those top players in the state, that are out of the DA now, to come back and give this a try and give it an opportunity, because it's so exciting to be exposed to different coaching. Like I said earlier, I could say give the same advice as you, Richard, but we say it in a different way, and it clicks with one kid and it may not click with another.
Right.
And, so there's value in receiving coaching instructions from different coaches. There's value in being exposed to different players on the state level, on the regional level, on the national level. So I would love to see the top players return to Colorado Select and
Sure.
and be able to experience that stuff. My other vision would be, let's keep expanding. Let's get more players. Let's get more areas and
Right.
more reach in different parts of the state. Like I said, I'm going to Durango. I'm
Brilliant.
happy. I want to see every player in this state.
Right.
I want to run as many clinics and be exposed to these players and see and meet the coaches and work with them. And I just want to expand our reach. So everybody in Colorado, any Colorado soccer player feels that they have some connection with Colorado Select. And you don't have to be on a Colorado Select team to feel that experience. You can come to the clinics, you can come to the camps, you can come to the tryouts and have some exposure, and you will grow and you'll develop it in your experiences, in whatever those experiences may be. So just expanding our outreach and really feeling like people feel like they are a part of Colorado soccer. That's how I feel Colorado Select is. We're not a separate program. We are part of this bigger family of Colorado soccer players.
And it'll only make players better. The depth of the pool, those players, returning to their clubs and going in their programs as well. It's just going to elevate the whole talent, the talent issue right across the state by implementing yourself, encouraging those players to be part of be part of the whole program, because you're reaching out now, and over the last couple of years I've seen it expand, and you're doing a great job.
Thank you,
Maren. I can't speak highly enough of what I've seen evolve over the program. I want to take a moment just to say I always say it 3 times. Thank you. It's a hat trick. Thank you so much for your time. I know you're super busy. I know you've got a meeting later with our hierarchy, and then you're off heading south down to Durango. But I can't let you leave without doing a quick fire 5 questions.
Okay.
And so far away. If you could take a little bit quicker than Freitag, who took 15 minutes over one of the. I'm exaggerating. So I know Fry's probably listening to this. Who's your favourite player, Marin?
Rose Lavelle. Right. Are you saying current player or player of all time?
Open.
Player of all time, Cece.
Okay.
Brazil national team, women's national team. Look her up if you don't know her. Cece.
Look her up, everyone. I think we all know who Rosie is right now. Favorite team?
Manchester City. I know. De Bruyne. That's why I love De Bruyne. I love him.
Yeah, he's not bad. He's okay. He's okay. Coaching influence, past or present, influence on you for your coaching career?
I would say either Chris Watkins, who was the assistant coach at BYU when I was there.
Okay.
And Ian Sawyer. Julie Foudy's husband, Ian Sawyer, was my coach with the San Jose CyberRays for 2 years. I think I learned more from him in 2 years than I learned from almost any coach. And the other one I would say, Shami Babihani. He was the girls director at Cherry Creek Lightning when I played there from 12 till 18 years old. And Shami, I don't know if he's out there, but I owe you a lot. He was awesome.
Legend.
He is a legend.
Give him a wave just in case he's watching. There you go.
Miss you, buddy.
Wow. Off subject, food. What's your favorite food, Maren?
Healthy food or any food?
Go for it.
Okay. I love a good strawberry spinach salad. That's my healthy. And dark chocolate covered almonds is my favorite guilt food.
I'm going to go with a guilt trip on that one. That you've sold me on that one, Marin. That's brilliant. Double-edged sword, this question. What's your favorite moment as a player during your playing career? Favorite moment?
Oh,
I know.
It's hard to pick one. 2002, playing with the San Jose CyberRays, scored my first goal in the WSA as a professional player off of a free kick from Michelle French, headed it into the upper 90. And we were down 2-0 at the time, and it spurred a comeback, and we won 4-3 with Brandy Chastain scoring 2 more goals after that. That was a brilliant moment. I have a lot of highlight moments that I loved. I loved playing college soccer. College soccer at BYU was phenomenal. But then I'll also add, in my youth days, my club team, Cherry Creek Lightning, who then became Storm, who now are Rapids. Right. I would say my overall favorite team experience was with the Cherry Creek Lightning. We won 5 state cups, and I loved my time playing here in Colorado.
And the second part of the double-edged sword, favorite coaching moment is one smidgen.
Ooh. Man, that's a tough one too. Okay. I coached a college team, College of St. Mary in Omaha, Nebraska, before we moved to Colorado 2 years ago. And this is kind of funny. I had a player who stopped what she was doing on the field, turned to look at me and said, "Coach, what do I do?" And I said, "Play soccer." I said, just trust your instincts and play. I said, don't look at me, go. I think that moment kind of personified how I feel as a coach, that I don't want to give you the answers.
Right.
In a game, I want to empower you as an athlete, as a player, to make your own decisions, to be confident in your decisions. And if it's not the best decision, or if it's not a great decision, the game will tell you that. The game will teach you, you know. In training, I'm going to do everything I can to teach you as much as I can, you know, and I'm going to layer it on. But once you get to the game, this is your moment as a player. And so I've had a lot of these kinds of conversations with my teams over the years, whether it is a college team or whether it is, you know, my son's 5-year-old team, you know, a few years ago. And that moment just personified everything I believe as a coach, which is I'm going to do everything I can to teach you before. And then in the game, I'm going to empower you to make the decisions yourself.
Great story, great philosophy, great words of advice for all those up-and-coming coaches maybe coming into that select program to learn. Maren, thank you. Again, I've already given you a hat trick of thank yous. I know you're super busy. We've done the quick 5-5. Thank you very much for your time. Would you like to leave our followers, our members, listeners, onlookers with a final message for Sport in Denver? Once again, thank you, Maren.
Hey, thank you for having me. This was a pleasure for me to be a part of this. I love what you're doing with Sporting Denver. I love this program and this that you're doing. If I had to leave a final message, I hope you do understand that I am passionate about not just about soccer and not even just about Colorado Select, although I love this program and I love being a part of it. But I'm passionate about helping these young athletes these days, these young players, grow and develop as soccer players, as human beings. And I know that if they're a part of Colorado Select in any capacity, whether it's coming to an ID camp, whether it's coming to a clinic, a futures clinic, or whether it's coming to tryouts and making the opportunity to be a part of that pool, I think you'll have a really positive experience, and I hope you'll come out. I look forward to meeting all of the young soccer players that are out there in Colorado.